Hello, we return, and everyone is back already. So I'll just go ahead and add them all back immediately. Okay, welcome back. We are playing Troika. Obviously, you know that it's in the description. One of the reasons we're playing Troika is because we are running a Troika Kickstarter, or we will be very soon. The link to it is pinned in the chat. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm sure it will be in the video description and stuff, and it's plastered all over our social media by then. So yeah, if you're interested, take a look. If you've ever wanted to play Troika in a huge, weird, cosmic horror pillow fort, and who hasn't, frankly, it's been one of the central dreams of humanity since we all lived in caves. So check it out. We'll be launching on February the 1st. But you, my friend, can notify yourself of that by clicking on the notify button on Kickstarter right now. Go check it out. Thank you. We love you. Okay. You have found yourself in the Rainbow Badlands. It's a pretty desolate, if colourful place. Yeah, that's about it. You're the only ones there, along with your mysterious friend. Out of interest, at any point in any of this, has there been any suspicion from any of you that Captain Kakajan is not, in fact, the weirdly mutated remains of the former Captain Swallock? Just out of interest. I don't think it matters.
I mean, where else would he have come from? Like, it's not just like he was living and slumbering inside the belly of the barge. Like that.
Yeah, he's not some weird mutated horror somehow born in the bowels of a spacecraft, come to sentient life and somehow managed to help crash land the ship onto an asteroid. That would be mad.
Crazy.
I think Carrot will be, because it has been quite busy. There's been a lot going on. A fair amount of screaming and limbs and sort of sloshing viscera and
eyeball fluid.
Yeah,
lots of silly voices,
and more to come. I promise.
Amazing. Carrick will be now. Now things have calmed down a bit. Staring, trying to remain polite, but looking for the multicolored moustache that he does definitely remember.
There's definitely no sign of that. Definitely no sign of that.
The most tragic loss.
Yeah. The first casualty in any war is the multicolored moustache.
Absolutely,
Captain. We're headed to the wall. Given that was where you were piloting the barge, you're very welcome to join us, I'm sure.
Captain just kind of tilts their head to one side, sort of like a curious dog head. Yeah, what would pass for a head, you would imagine, and just sort of says, "What? Wall?" And then just kind of starts slithering off, with whoever's leading the way.
Poor bastard.
Yeah, the mysterious friend watches Captain Kakajan kind of like slumping off in the very direction of the wall and kind of lifts his lance and goes, and starts marching alongside him. It's worth noting at this point, you could definitely, the wall isn't the only thing you can see. Okay? The only thing to strike out for. There is the wall off in the distance, absolutely dominating the horizon. There is also, some way off to maybe the east or west, who knows at this stage, what looks like the ruins of a large empty city that you could definitely go to. It's definitely gonna take, traversing the Badlands towards the wall is already going to take quite a few days. Going to the city is definitely going to extend that.
I guess there's the question of whether we can find somewhere with transport, if we can find something that allows us to move around a bit more quickly, then it might be worthwhile. But if not, then
I mean, they definitely look like ruins. It looks like definitely looks like an abandoned city. You don't get the impression that it has any kind of bustling infrastructure that's somehow behind the ruins. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Or
like
functioning,
or like a
repairable.
functioning.
Yeah.
It does not look that way. That's all I'm saying. However, who knows?
If we were to find something, I'm guessing the Golden Pod pilot skill is incredibly specific, and I can't
Pretty specific.
Yeah.
You
Fly any old random shit we can cobble together.
No.
Okay.
Golden barges are a very specific construction.
Niche.
That monkey
Then-
map didn't have any other cities or settlements outside of the wall, did it?
It's
No, it's
purely
just-
of the wall.
Well, you're from the area, aren't you, Monkey Man?
I'm from the wall, Your Majesty. I've not spent much time in these other parts.
No one comes to the Badlands. It's too dangerous.
We'd better get out of here, huh?
If it's essentially, can we see anything other than the ruined city? So there's the wall, there's the ruined city.
Those are the only things you can see apart from the vast kind of plains of whistling multicolored grasses.
And you did mention they were slightly hallucinogenic.
But only if you eat them or touch them or like walk
Breathe
near
them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool,
too much.
cool,
Don't
cool.
try.
Great.
Just try not to breathe too much.
Okay. Oh, that was a sigh. That wasn't good. I'll stop doing that. Yes, we should head onwards. We should try to get to the wall, I think.
Okay. It's worth noting at this point, by the way, that don't forget that you can eat provisions to reclaim some stamina. Should you wish to do that, if you have any stamina hit, although I think all of our stamina hits in this story have just been one-shot kill. So
I was going to say I can't use provisions as armor, like up front before the damage.
No.
Okay.
Desperately go
Just
like this,
like I'm playing Fallout 4 or something. Just like,
yeah.
Throwing tomatoes at your opponent to try and distract them and lessen the hit. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Wrapping them around my face as some kind of armor.
No. So as you are kind of walking through this landscape, and so sorry, I don't think we fully set. So we're not heading for the city; we're heading straight for the wall. Is that the idea?
Well, you have painted a word picture of it being a barren, nothing place of uselessness that will kill us.
There's absolutely no reason why anyone would want to go there, right, John?
I may have some royal business in a nearby city of mathematical and potentially theological ramifications.
Aren't we in a bit of a rush for his cheekiness?
Did make very good. I mean, this is not in character, obviously, but we did make very good time, didn't we? Because we rolled like 1 day on the.
Yeah, expediency has been really beneficial to us so far. It drove the decision to go for the barge. It's been working out really well.
You're in a great situation.
Great.
Yeah.
It's camera obviously not focused on packages.
I feel like I should be honorable enough to. I think Carrick will know how far away the wall is because Carrick knows how big the wall is, right? Or have some idea. Would it help your decision making if I tell you that traveling through the Badlands to the wall will take you 2d6 days?
Yikes!
That's a big old chunk of days in our unspecified between 4 and 24.
It was 4 today. Oh shit!
That's a big old chunk of days.
So like in terms of like where we can see these things, is it a case that this other city is like going to take us longer overall, but maybe gives us somewhere to like camp that's not just out in the open of the Badlands? Is that like?
I mean, sure, it will
potentially-
certainly do that. I mean, that's based on an assumption that there aren't worse things in the city than in the Badlands.
Yeah,
Of
it's like,
course,
oh,
yeah.
when we're going
Like-
to rest in the zombie-infested basement sort of thing. Like,
Yeah, it's like ultimately all you know is you can go to the city, and it's not like in the opposite direction to the wall, but it will definitely make your travel to the wall longer if you drop by the city. That's really all you know. Which is why I'm delighted to offer this choice to you. And the only reason you have to go to the city is maybe there's something there, and also
Yeah.
if the old lady in the pub was correct, maybe there's a mathemologist there, which of course means nothing to Nelheim and Captain Kakajan, but like,
Yeah.
and barely anything more to Katrine and Carrick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Your Majestiness. This city, there's some philosophical. I'd like I said, certainty. There's nothing better than certainty.
Well, certainty is somewhat lacking, I'm afraid. Basically, there may or may not be an individual who may or may not be real, or as real as he had intended to be real, and his either escape or handing in to his or from his creators may or may not yield a reward of some matter or type, perhaps.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that.
Well, you are a seer, aren't you?
Yes.
I will legit allow you to make a second sight roll to see if Nostrificans the mathemologist is in that city.
Okie doke.
And feel free to use your staff.
I rolled a 1 and a 2, so I rolled under that as a success.
It suddenly comes to you with a shocking clarity that Nostrificans the mathemologist, whoever that might be, is definitely in that empty city over there, and that if you follow that trail of crumbs, it could definitely lead to something to something of significance happening to you.
Nostrificans. How? He's there. Who the hell is Nostrificans?
He's a fellow who may or may not exist in the manner that he at first thought that he may or may not do so.
Right, you're weird, vague man. All right.
Yes.
He's that. He's. Ah, why now? We have to go there. Let's see. Yeah, he's there.
Let me reiterate, that significance that happens to you might not be good.
I
And might not
know,
be
but
bad.
it happens to me, so I know that it happens. So we've got to go there.
Right.
Always got to open the
seer
box.
is also kind of like just bound to fate, even if that fate is technically entirely malleable.
Oh, you always think that, and then you try and do something different, and it just makes the original thing happen, but worse. And it's
so
easier
two
to
of you
just
want to go to
with
the
it.
city. How about other people, just to keep our pace up a bit here? Carrick and
Yeah.
Kakajan. Kakajan seems semi-sentient, so I'm sure it'll go wherever you go.
Yeah, Captain is basically just largely inanimately, hovering and just. I think basically is spending all of this time just soaking up, listening to all of these strange fleshy creatures speak, and trying to, let that in some way by osmosis, he'll sort of eventually it'll be able to speak eventually and start communicating. It's just trying to understand what's happening. In the meantime, it's going to be quite
Yeah.
compliant and just follow along.
Yeah. How about Carrick?
Is the city? Is it nearer than the wall?
Oh God, yes.
Then yes. I
It
think.
looks about a day's travel away.
Right. Then yes. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Well, you all set off then, traveling towards the city. There are occasional tumbleweeds that form from variegated grasses in high winds, some light and speedy and some becoming so heavy and compact that they form immobile monoliths that you work your way around while you're kind of trying to make your way towards this empty city in the distance. Does someone want to give me a d6 roll to see if something happens, please?
How brave are you feeling? I could do it. I mean,
Go on, Alex.
that's a 2.
Okay, nothing happens. The travel is, honestly, it would be boring if it wasn't for the low grade terror you feel every time the wind blows a gust of odd smelling grass emanations in your direction. But you find yourself, a day or so later at this emptied city, which a sign outside that's now in severe disrepair informs you was once called the Fresh Gilding Metropolis. It's an expansive ruin, a once proud city of amber hexagonal buildings now all tilted and crumbling. The city's very foundations groan and rumble as you walk through. One of the first things you see is a large statue of a knight who seems to have been a person of some importance in the city, wearing very elaborate, ornamented blue armor. Does someone want to give me a d6 roll, please?
Sure, I can. 3.
Okay, that's fine.
It's a GM
That
energy.
is absolutely fine. There's definitely a kind of like atmosphere of emptiness and loss here. As soon as you kind of walk past the city boundary, you find that there is like a real sort of like befouling sense of despair that starts dragging you down. Does anyone have a single skill total? So by this I mean, does anyone have a skill plus advanced skill that adds up to 10 or more? No, that's fine then. Then you are not, none of you are significant or sort of intelligent enough to really let this oppressive sense of despair drag you down. None of you are the protagonist and therefore cannot fall foul to.
This is just Matt's way of punishing min-maxers, isn't it? It was just like
if by Matt you mean Andrew Walter, writer of Fronds of Benevolence, then yes.
Okay. I was like, this is definitely just Matt's homebrew. Like,
sure. As you kind of walk through the city, you notice a number of kind of like places of perhaps interest that you could visit in your search for the mathemologist here. You see something that looks like a high library building that has a sort of very large monument of like a scroll outside it. You see what looks like the city square that seems to be partially collapsed. You see a spindly lookout tower, and you see what looks like actually various different sites where you can see like little twinkling like light reflecting off something at various points around the city, or they don't seem to be associated with particular sort of buildings or anything like that, just like scattered around. Do any of these things particularly catch your interest?
So we've got scroll towers, I'm presuming it's some sort of like a library thing. That
yeah, there's what looks like a library building. There's a sort of city square that looks partly collapsed. There's a spindly lookout tower and these odd places where you're seeing a bit of reflected light.
Right. Well, I think planning ahead, Carrick might go over to the lookout tower to sort of try and find our next, our next directions, get a sense of bearing, and
Sure.
do a bit of a yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that seems as good a place as any to go and look for something that might prompt a significant event in one's life.
Absolutely.
like falling.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
possible.
as you approach this sort of spindly lookout tower, it looks no less precarious than the other buildings around, but it definitely provides an expansive view to the southeast, sort of broadly towards the wall, although everywhere south leads to the wall. It's just the entire horizon. As you approach, you all hear like the sound of someone kind of mumbling to themselves up at the top of the tower.
I'll nudge Queen and might be your man.
I will, I suppose, try and sneak closer and try and hear if he's saying anything mathological.
Mathemological, yeah. Okay, the inside of the tower is like this long circular staircase full of like rocks and dust and kind of chunks of amber-like material. It will be to sneak up will be, you'll need a roll to do it. I would counter that also by saying another way to get to the top, a better way to get to the top without being heard would be to actually climb the tower. If anyone here is good at climbing, that's certainly an option, or a sneak roll from someone would also do it. But
if only we'd had like a sneak character in the party, man, like with an
Yeah.
advanced sneak skill. God, that would be so useful.
Should have snuck better. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, it wasn't that let me down.
No, it wasn't.
It was basic sword fighting.
That fucking the fumble and mighty blow together. That was unbelievable.
Wild.
Yeah, is Carrick the Monkey Monger going to make a go of it?
I think so. Yes, Carrick will finally, a skill that is Carrick's true calling. I'll attempt to climb the.
Give us that roll then, please.
Are you more proficient at climbing than your monkeys, or could you not just sort of sent forth the monkeys to climb?
Right. You might not. I don't have any skill in monkeys. There's no monkey.
What a. That's certainly.
You
one
can't
of the
say that when I've
sentences.
just taken a sip of something.
Oh no, kill the GM.
You've killed God.
Oh dear. Right. What am I doing? Rolling 2d6.
Climb. Yeah.
Rolling climb. My climb skill is 8, and I rolled a 7.
Nice.
So just make it.
Yeah, so you clamber successfully up the outside of the tower, kind of pretty quiet, and make your way to the top. And the voice kind of mumbling resolves itself. And it is indeed someone mumbling in a voice to themselves, sort of, carry the 1, and then the 2. Bloody hell.
I guess I'll. Yeah, no, I don't know what to do. I guess I could use the into the odd approach and hop over the ledge and say, "Good afternoon."
A man in there in kind of like a black robe, with a sort of fussy, well-groomed black beard, kind of like wheels around. He's been fiddling with this sort of weird mechanical device, which he has a very much smaller copy of in his hand, and he kind of wheels around dramatically and points to you vaguely, and says, "Name yourself."
Hello, I'm Carrick. These are my monkeys. I do have a list.
I don't give a fuck about your monkeys. Why are you here?
We've come to find you. Clearly. I have to say I've forgotten the details of why, but I do have a colleague who's just Queen. Are you there?
Yes.
Why are we trying to find this gentleman again?
Well, we were going to ask him that.
Oh, right. Why are we trying to find you, sir?
Queen.
Yes,
This is all very
Queen
fucking
Katrine.
suspicious. I've had enough of this. Fuck you. Fuck the Queen. Teleportation.
Is this character
slams
literally?
things like-
It's
Yeah, yes,
literally
it's
Matt Berry.
Yes,
Okay,
it's Matt
good.
Berry.
Okay,
He
good.
slams
Mathematics
the,
Berry.
He slams the device in his hand to the ground. There is an explosion of sparks, and Nostrificans, the mathemologist, is no longer in this place. He has, however, there is one thing left behind where he was once standing. Perhaps a clue to his next location.
Could I possibly roll second sight to try to divine where Matt Berry has gone?
Well, you've got second
I mean,
sight
you
as
could
well.
probably
do.
get a better chance of it by picking up and looking at this clue.
Oh,
Sure,
that's just
sure.
pedestrian. I will pick up the clue.
It is a small, oddly vibrating pillow.
It's
Oh,
all become
this
suddenly so clear.
I'm just pleased that my Matt Berry impression is apparently good enough to get
It's-
really quickly revealed.
In the first 3 words, I wanted to mention it, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Well, it's a nice pillow.
You can incidentally consider the Nostrifican subplot for this one shot completed. What I'm going to do with this, and I'm happy to reveal it, is we will run a number of Troika stories over the next year or so. And literally, basically, you have to find Nostrificans a certain number of times to unlock the Nostrificans one shot.
Amazing.
Nice.
Does it
Wow.
look like this thing can in any way help? Like if he's just disappeared, teleported, does it look like there's any way that we can try to manipulate this in order to?
It's absolutely
Yeah.
bollocksed. Like the whole thing is blown up. You think it was a one go deal?
Those disposable
Alright.
teleportation devices.
Was that him swearing fealty to me?
He was swearing.
And he acknowledged that you're a queen, so I guess that's sort of 2 halves.
That's something. Is he still there?
No, he left his pillow. It's vibrating.
It's not a body pillow, is it?
No, it's a
Good.
small regular pillow,
Good.
like a hand pillow. You know, they exist.
Hand pillow.
Can we follow up into the tower and then just have a look and see if there's anything else that might be useful to get us to the wall? If this
No, you press tab and everything, but nothing gets highlighted. There is nothing left in this
Left alt?
in this
No?
environment. No, that doesn't work
No.
either.
Oh, bollocks.
No, oh, I tell you what, if you want to make an astrology roll, you'll get a +2 up here at night.
I could certainly do that. I was looking for a way to work astrology in when we were.
Oh my god,
so
you actually have astrology. Okay.
I do. Yeah. I'm all
nice.
about the stars and
Yeah.
space
There is
faring. Right.
also another statue of a knight outside the tower, and can I have a d6 roll for that, please?
Cool. I got a 4, which is a success on astrology.
Sure, it's not nighttime, but
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood you. Right. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I got a 3 on the statue roll.
Okay, that's fine. You can wait until nighttime if you want and make an astrology roll.
That's probably going to take too long given our time constraints. So I'll wait.
Fair enough.
Well, whilst I'm up here, I guess I'll be, looking to see where our next location might be, if we should be going straight to the wall or whether there's somewhere more.
Well, there's nothing between here and the city. other than the Badlands. You can see a bit more clearly the other parts of the city that I mentioned. That collapsed square seems to have like a yawning sinkhole with some occasional power conduits glowing down it. The kind of place where you might find some plasmic cores to be scavenged. The library seems to be just that, a library, and those kind of different sites where you saw some light reflecting look from this height like they might be like some formerly occupied campsites or something like that. Yeah, and there's a bunch of more statues of knights around. But obviously, you just found. Go for it.
I was going to say, the statues of the knights, is it just like a man with a sword, or are they like knights atop a horse or anything like that?
They don't have any weapons, but they're just it's just a tall statue of a knight just kind of standing there.
Okay. Should we check out some of these campsite things? There might be something useful. You never know.
Obviously, it's worth noting, every time you visit somewhere, I'm logging how many hours it takes you.
Yeah.
I just want you to be aware.
Yeah. Time passes.
The campsites, you say. Yeah, the campsites, you say. Is that what we want to check out?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Before we move on, can I do something largely inconsequential but kind of fun with Captain? So I think seeing this discarded pillow and this man vanish into thin air and having teleported away, I think the captain will pick up the pillow and sort of look at it askance, and sort of think to itself, I suppose, that this strange creature left its pillow behind, and is going to use a spell. One of the spells I rolled is Assassin's Dagger. Now,
Okay.
despite the name, it isn't. It just sends an item.
Yeah.
Basically sailing, and it will always hit and always reach there eventually. So I'm going to cast Assassin's Dagger on their now defunct teleportation pillow and try to send it to them wherever they are.
Like it says specifically, it says it seeks out and vigorously bumps into the target repeatedly.
Yes. Which I think is, given that it's a pillow, should be largely more funny than consequential.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna roll.
Yeah, so you need to roll to see if you do it. So that will be your Assassin's Dagger plus your skill.
That's
you need to get equal or under.
That's a 5. Skill 4, Assassin's Dagger 2. So yeah.
Okay. And also you need to lose the appropriate amount of stamina for doing that, which
I will look that up. Yes.
I think it is 3. It's 3.
Yeah. Totally worth it.
So yeah. Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Are you doing this while holding the pillow? Or is the idea that you're releasing the pillow, be free, return to your master? Or are you keeping it as a kind of homing item, like a tracking item?
I had just thought of it more of a sort of Kakujin doesn't really understand anything and is just sort of like, oh, send this thing back to them.
But it's up to you. Maybe weird. The Kakujin understands what's the language enough now that they know that his friends are looking for this person.
Yeah, I think it understands that much. So yes, maybe maybe I can keep the pillow and it will sort of keep
and it'll kind
nudging
of
towards wherever.
Well, I'm telling you right now, it's trying to go up into the sky.
Okay, not with enough force to take me with it. Or...
No.
Okay,
it's like real gentle,
like holding a balloon.
The description of this,
Yeah, let's do that. I like that.
A balloon that's definitely trying to get away.
A helium, let's go with that. Okay, so I'll keep hold of it. I'll find like a little bag to put it in or something.
Sure, absolutely.
I like that.
So where are we heading, folks? Out of this tower, are we going to the campsites as Nelheim seems to suggest, or?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. You emerge from there and quite quickly find your way to a one of these campsites. They seem to it's empty, it's deserted. It seems to have served its purpose. It looks like someone was sleeping here once and heating what looks like the remains of some broth in a like a shallow cauldron. It is hung all over with champagne-coloured ribbons and trinkets of glass, which were the things kind of reflecting back at you. It's also near, again, a large statue of one of the knights. Can someone give me... I need 2 people to give me D6 rolls, please.
I'm getting suspicious about this. I'll do 1.
That's a 1
Okay.
for me.
It's a 1 from you, Alex.
I also got a 1.
Okay. In that case, let me... I need to roll something here.
I'm hoping that's not the equivalent of a fumble.
No, okay. There is a as you're looking around this, there is a sort of odd sort of grunting, tittering noise somewhere nearby, and each one of you has a small rock, enough to hurt, but not enough to cause any harm, land on your head, all at the same time.
Ow! What was that?
Who did that?
Ugh.
I will immediately look around to see where my monkeys are at. Did the monkeys get pelted too?
Yes. They're kind of like waving and screeching and are generally perturbed.
I will slowly pull my knife out of my robes.
I will delicately adjust my crown, which was sent askew by the rock.
There's another kind of like slightly grunt kind of...
Sense of direction, where that's coming from? Or where the rocks came from?
Give me an awareness roll.
Fail.
No, you don't really know.
Please stop it. Please.
We've had a long day. It's...
We're just having a bit of fun.
Well, we weren't.
A couple of creatures who look like this emerge from some slumped over buildings nearby. They have short tusks, piercing yellow eyes, and bulging craniums. One of them seems to be kind of waves of psychic energy rolling off one of them, with which it's manifesting a glowing turquoise sword next to it. But it's just kind of hovering there in a kind of protective way. Why do you come to our city?
We were looking for someone, and we found them, and they've gone now. So, yeah, we don't. We'll probably be off soon.
Well, that would be for the best. We prefer our solitude, even though playing that little game was quite fun. That's quite fun. It was quite fun.
We could get away faster if there was some sort of transport. I don't suppose there is there?
Transport? How primitive. You sound like our filthy cousins out in the Badlands.
Did they have transport?
In a way, you probably wouldn't want it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we really do want to be getting out of here as fast as we can. But apparently transport is primitive. So, yeah. Okay, well that sounds about right. Yeah.
One has no need for transport when one has sublime, intelligence, and it like hovers off the ground a little bit and rotates a little bit before settling back down.
Well, can your sublime intelligence get us to the wall quickly? We need to get to the wall. It's a matter of great urgency.
We have our own things to do. We have study, we have knowledge, we have psychic spectral arts.
What about the not just the theoretical, but the practical application of those arts, perhaps? Any chance? No.
You need more demonstration than this.
Yes. The thing is, though, it doesn't really seem like you're doing an awful lot of studying because you're here talking to us. So if what you want to do is studying, then surely it would be in your interests for us to get out of here as quickly as possible, which means that it would be in your best interests to help us.
Or we could just walk off and go back to the library.
In which case we might follow you
Back to the library! They turn around and start trudging in the direction of the library.
Get back here! I wasn't done talking to you.
They're not inclined to acquiesce. I mean, they
Out of
seem
interest.
to. Yes.
I was going to say these things are quite. Are these things quite small, or are these things like us
Yeah.
sized?
No, they're pretty. No,
Yeah.
no, they're pretty small.
But the ruins are like us sized, right? Like more like people
they are.
kind of ruins. Yeah.
These people definitely did not build this city. No.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, Carrick, give me a skill roll.
I rolled a 7, so
That's fine.
skill is 4.
No, that's fine. No. You find it pretty unlikely that these guys built the city. Like, for a start, why would it be like? Why would they just be living in little campfires in the
Yeah.
No.
Well, we need to get out of here, don't we? We've got to help the poor Duke.
Yeah, are we carrying on fucking around in the city, or are we?
So rude.
Are we, are we headed?
I think we've seen everything there is to see.
Well, technically we
found
haven't, but we're not going for 100% completion because
we haven't found anything interesting at the campsite other than small creatures who throw rocks at us.
No.
Synchronized rocks, but no.
Are we trudging out of the city? It sounds like we're moving towards trudging out of the city and making our way across the Badlands.
I think so.
I guess
Yes.
so. This is starting to feel like it's been quite a long day. Is it approaching nighttime or anything like that yet, or are we just? Does it just feel like a longer day than it's been so far? Is it like noon and I'm just feeling like I've lived
it's probably like late afternoon. You're thinking camping? Are you thinking of making camp and setting off in the morning? Is that the notion? You're probably quite
late
tired.
afternoon. We've probably got enough time, I guess, of the day still. But yeah, just as long as we're vaguely thinking about.
Well, it sounds like there's
some point,
the promise of transport of some kind, even though it might not be transport we would like in the Badlands. Is that correct? They're cousins, so
The promise or the threat, I suppose.
Yeah, it might be worth pursuing
Yeah, I guess.
Sure.
that.
Sure.
At least we're
okay.
heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah. So we're heading out to the Badlands and making our way. Okay. This is gonna be a fun roll. So first off, let's have another D6 roll from someone, please.
I haven't done one in a while. A 3.
Okay, that's fine. And then can someone else give me a D6 roll, please?
This has to be John, I think.
Yeah, I think it's John.
5.
5. Okay. As you travel through the Badlands, you see like very little kind of interest as the days pass by. You see the you hear the wind whistling through these multicolored grasses. You see these tumbleweeds. You don't really find anything to eat or drink particularly, which is quite worrying. And we'll see how many of your provisions might have gone in that time when we move forwards. You also see in the distance in various places groups of let me give you a description of them, kind of odd tusked and shambling figures with rich deep red fur who sort of in a way look like weird shaggy stretched out versions of the individuals you saw in the city. You can see it. None of them seem to kind of particularly come near you, and you're probably quite glad of that because they seem to be in kind of large patrols that you sometimes see fighting each other with kind of long slingshot rifles and cutlasses. They definitely have transport, and I'll show you an image of their specific transport methodology that you observe over a number of days. They seem to ride each other.
Oh God.
And they also seem pretty aggressive and angry a lot of the time. So it's up to you. Do you want to try and approach some of these shaggy, kind of dark red creatures that seem to be pretty up for just a lot of fighting? Or on the vague chance that you might be able to persuade them to let you mount them and ride them to the wall? Or do you just want to be kind of grateful that you don't seem to attract any of the patrol's attention and just crack on with the long walk?
I think I'm good with walking.
Walking looks quite attractive now, actually.
Yeah.
Walking like underappreciated as a means of conveyance. Yeah.
And I will tell you this because I don't think you'll stumble on the information, and Carrick didn't manage to remember anything about this area. So would you be amused if both of these creatures you've observed and met are called the wine-coloured raiders?
What?
This one's red and the other one's
Yeah.
white.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's it. Okay. The trudge to the wall it is then, but no need to worry. It's not. We just have to roll a die, make a roll to see how long it takes us. So, who wants to make that 2d6 roll for how long it takes to walk to the wall?
Don't worry, we just have to roll some dice. I mean,
well, one each again. Steve and Alex.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Steve
sure.
and Alex can combine it with a d6 each.
Limit your potential disaster. Oh, jeez.
I mean, we're still blaming the seer.
Yeah, that's 2. That's okay.
5.
Oh, Steve, what are you doing?
So that's a week. That is a week's walk to the wall.
The Duke's so dead.
So that's how long it takes you.
I mean, I have no horse in this race, arguably, so that's sort of
absolutely. If only you had a horse.
Yeah, that would be useful.
So it's a very long walk through the Rainbow Badlands. Can everyone let me calculate how many provisions? Okay, can everyone lose 3 provisions? That's your rations for kind of making it through.
Unless I've misunderstood, I don't seem to have provisions as a Cacogen.
Yeah, you will do. If you go to the first character creation page, it asks you to roll for provisions. And,
okay, I'll do that.
A couple of other things, but just take 3 off whatever you got.
Happily, I had 6, so I'm fine.
Okay.
So I'd also share if needs be. So
very, very tired and very footsore. You arrive at near the foot of the wall, somewhere most Plandrons never visit, nor do they have any desire to. They see it as a source of luxuries and oddity, labouring under a strange, oppressive teratogenetic rulership. It is immense. It soars above the Badlands, teeming with the activity of the specks of humanity that live upon its surface. It is so huge that clouds form along its top, and anything on the other side is forbidden from view by the wall's mysterious overlords. Climbing is not permitted to within 1 mile of the top. The overlords dictate that no settlement on the wall numbers more than 888 people. Culls are common methods of enforcement. There is a patchwork of fields, settlements, temples, and all kinds of other habitation jutting out from its surface, stacked vertically above one another. Countless people live on here. Steve, you're home!
Yay!
And you have the monkey map.
Yeah, indeed. Yes.
You have the monkey map. There are many ways to ascend the wall as you come up to it. You know, there are so many people all around and little settlements and various other things. But Steve, as you know, getting up can be difficult, or it can be easy depending on the spot on the wall you've arrived on. And what I would like to do is all of you get a roll to see if you can find a method of ascending the wall to get to the green mine where you know you need to go. Steve, yeah, any kind of advanced skill you think might apply to this, and I will give you some modifiers based on how well I think it will apply. So first off, Steve, I'm guessing you're going for climb.
Yes, given I'm familiar with this place.
And you, my friend, can get a +3 to that roll. So add another 3 on top to your
lovely
to your thing for the roll you make. Queen Katrine, what are you going to do to try and find a way up the wall?
I'm going to try and use my tracking to find a path that has already been taken.
Okay, I think you can get a +1 on that. How about Captain Kakajan? Which I love every time I say it.
I'm loving it. I'm actually quite glad I died. I think the only thing I can really see is second sight. I think it would be a sort of try to supernaturally.
Okay, I think that's a plus. I think that's a +1 as well. As well. And Nelline, are you going for awareness?
Awareness, I think. Yeah, try and just see what looks like a good spot.
I think that's a +2. So everyone who makes, and remember, obviously that's to your skill total, not to the roll. Otherwise, that's bad. But everyone, give me a thumbs up if they make the roll. Oh, that's 3. That's 3 though. Okay, everyone that succeeded. Nelline presumably too far into her glumness to see a way forward that doesn't end in her death. Can give me a D6. Let's start with Steve. Steve, give me a D6 roll, please.
Okay. 3. We've had a lot of 3s.
Okay. What you find are some complementary pitons and a friendly point in the right direction, up. Less fit characters might struggle, but it is free. Queen Katrine, can you give me a D5 roll if possible, please? You just roll a D6 and ignore 6s, whatever you want. 4. In that case, you find a winding covered arcade. It is incredibly steep zigzagging staircase under brightly coloured glass. Mysterious robed figures seem to be skulking on some of the landings. It is cheap to access. And Alex, can you give me a D4 roll, please, if you have a D4, or just use a D6 and ignore 5 and 6, whatever you want.
That's a 2. Yeah,
it's a 2. You have rolled the monkey swarm.
Of all people.
Monkey monger, a monkey monger with many more monkeys. Directs his chattering entourage to bodily lift the characters up the wall in a chaotic tumbling mass. Test your luck or lose a random item. Very cheap.
Oh,
so you have the free option where you might fucking fall, I guess. You have a very cheap monkey mass where you have to test your luck or lose an item, or you've got this covered arcade. Looks a bit shaky and it's still cheap, but is the most like the most expensive of the options. What are we taking?
I mean,
I'm obviously drawn to the monkeys.
I'm drawn to it as well. Yeah, but
once you've travelled, monkey style, you never look back.
That's how it goes. Saying. Yeah, that's yeah. I remember that idiom. Yeah.
Sounds like that's that then, doesn't it?
It looks like we're going to Monkey Town. Yeah.
Up to Monkey Town.
As they say. So
as they say.
Does that cost money?
It says very cheap. I'm going to say it costs 1 silver piece each.
Right. Okay. And then we still need to test luck or lose a random item because it's just mad.
Yeah.
Doing.
Yep. Everyone test your luck.
Do we have to test our luck, or can we just give up an item, or is it?
If you want, you can give up an item. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily do that. If I was
I'll test it.
I succeeded on luck. Normally, when you test against luck, you mark it down 1.
Yeah.
That applies here as well.
Whether you succeed or you fail, you knock your luck down by 1
and
temporarily. You still remember the total.
2d6 trying to get under luck, right?
Or equal to or under. Yeah.
Oh, that's good because I tied on a 7. So yeah, okay. Great. So I succeed.
Anyone else?
Go down to 6 luck.
So I had 11 luck. I thought this was this was a given. I've rolled a bloody double 6, haven't I?
Steve.
Okay. Well,
You're the monkey
say,
man.
Steve, feel free to roll randomly to see what you lose, and each of your monkeys will be an entry in that roll.
Oh.
They might decide the grass is greener with this other monkey man.
My God, that would be devastating. Okay.
I can't believe Matt's doing
that. Is the most heartbreaking possible option of a thing to lose.
Oh my God. Okay.
These monkeys. I don't know. These monkeys.
Thanks, Inga. Yeah, it's fine. Literally died, but it's fine.
Wow.
It's all right.
Oh no.
I did mean out of the infantry.
Can't think of anything worse.
But
like a bolt from the blue, you realise how much you meant to someone else.
Well,
it's in people's unguarded moments that you really.
Random loss like that. That's different to someone choosing to leave you. Like that's heartbreaking in a different way. Like
I see.
You're right. You're right.
Stand by it.
I'd rather lose my life to an insatiable void beast than lose a monkey.
It's close.
Steve, what did you lose?
9. Oh no! I lose a monkey.
No,
I lose a monkey. Now I have to roll a d6 to find out which
monkey.
3.
Because
have you named them?
I did name the monkeys. I named the monkeys.
This is so much worse.
So I had Annabelle, Meepo, and Clyde has decided to,
I mean,
it's not. It's not you.
3.
It's not you, Carrick. It's Clyde.
I'm just glad it wasn't Meepo.
You've reached the base of the wall, and this other monkey monger commands his monkey swarm, who are a lot more obedient, it seems, to you, Carrick, to grab you all, and with dozens of sharp little hairy hands yanking you up for what seems like a very long time, up over the face of the wall, when you are deposited on this jutting kind of outcrop of stone and soil, that you look down and you're like, we traveled so high, and you look down and look up and you're like barely a 20th of the way up the wall. You look around you, Carrick, and you see that in the chattering hordes of this monkey swarm moving away, you see among them Clyde, who kind of looks back over his shoulder briefly and then chitters and moves off with the mass. The monkey monger just gives a glance to you and a kind of and then clambers away over the surface of the wall.
Brutal. With an umlaut and everything.
Yeah. Guess that monkey monker was just more alpha.
Life's hard on the wall.
Life's hard on the monkey wall.
Life's hard as a monkey monger. If it helps, Meepo gives you a slight comforting pat on the back of your head, although he may have just been trying to get a parasite. All right. Anyway,
how do you segue out
where
of
we
that?
are? You don't. You just try and live with it. So you've traveled past quite a few kind of industrial spots on the wall, and each factory that you passed seems to operate independently and has its own cupola, a grouping of round chambers serving as a combined control station and living quarters. And you find yourself outside what's listed as Green Mine 470. Where there are drill columns churning mountains of earth nearby, surrounded by many gigantic and ancient glittering digging machines with roughly humanoid shapes. The cupola that those control chambers are quite near to where the monkey swarm has dropped you, and has a large metal door that is completely open. And everything else you can see is just machinery. Like humanoid or otherwise, it's all just machinery working on digging and pulling out big piles of earth and stone.
Well, the
Like
mine.
no person who looks like they're sort of in charge of the mine. It's
you can't
just
see
the
any
actual
people.
operations of it that we can see. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can't see any people, or you see a lot of machinery working away, but like other than the doors into the cupola, you can't see any humans. You know, you can't see inside the cupola, but presume maybe they're in there if they're in charge.
Well, the mine's
would
still.
probably go ahead.
The mine's still active, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Should we go inside and look for
Perhaps a royal visit.
an inspection, maybe?
Quite. And I
Sure.
will stride forward.
Out of
So-
interest, like how much is Captain Kakajan massively standing out in this wall-based metropolis, or is everyone just a bit weird?
There are lots of weird people here, but like as you approach the wall and went past like the big settlements and stuff, people definitely moved out of the way of Captain Kakajan a bit. You know, children would scream and run. Like there's definitely a broad sense of alarm. Although at points people almost seem to move out of the way deferentially.
Ooh.
Interesting. Okay.
Cool, not bad.
Like they're used to paying respect to monstrous things.
That's a backhanded compliment, but I'll take it. You know, it's fine.
To be clear, I wasn't describing Alex.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, head in, I guess.
Are we heading into the cupola? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
So like I say-
heading in. Does it? Oh, sorry. Go ahead with the description. Sorry.
No, go on.
I was going to say I was going to be looking if it looks like anything sort of other than like these other doors. If it looks like, I don't know. Like I guess we're on a wall, right? So I'm trying to like get a bit of sense of like what the actual like structure looks like, and if it looks like things are leading out into the wall or back where we came.
Obviously, the surface of the wall is like mixed stone and earth. It's like a big. It's mixed stone and earth. It's like a mountain is completely vertical, right? But like a long wall. All these mines and industrial facilities and fields and settlements are on jutting outcrops out from it, right? Most of which look like they've been built because they're like a regular shape. So the ground underneath you is just kind of rock, soil, stone, grasses, some other plants and things like that. The mining is going on all around you where all these big mechanical things are just digging into the wall and pulling out earth and stone and various things and placing it in piles. The cupola is like a big. It basically looks like 3 round semi-globes of stone, like placed into the wall, right? Sequentially, one after the other. And you are in front of a set of metal doors that are going into the first one. Is that a better description?
Yes, that's pretty
yeah.
good. Because I'd imagined it's sort of like an ant farm or something, but I now understand better. Yeah.
And that sorry, was that on like the wall side? So that's like
on the
heading into
wall.
Yeah,
the cupolas are embedded into the wall. Yeah.
Exciting.
Cool. Are we heading in?
Yeah,
I believe a royal
Yes.
visit was mentioned.
it was.
I'm strolling
Is that
in
there-
with purpose.
So that's kind of the thing we're going with. That you're yeah, okay, no problem. So you enter the first chamber of the cupola. Inside the cupola, the noise of all the machinery outside, which is quite loud, seems to be unnaturally suppressed by perhaps mysterious means, reduced to a low, pleasant hum, even with the door open. There are 3 exhausted, sweating assistants in orange and green striped overalls in here. They're chained by their ankles to circular rails to allow free movement, and seem to be checking various remote controls, ensuring that the automatons of the mines are working correctly, which seems to be a painstaking task requiring constant attention. There are a big stack of green on green pamphlets over on one side of the room, like as in like a big. There's a smell of fresh ink coming off them. That read, "Tyrannical plant overlords in opposition to decent, hardworking folk. Why directed hysteria is only right and proper." And there is another set of doors leading onwards to the next chamber. They have the workers haven't noticed you yet.
Maybe a royal visit's not so wise. Does it look like there's any potential route to go through without attracting the attention of these workers chained to this thing?
No,
we're going to come across.
They'd almost certainly notice you.
I think a royal visit is always appropriate. You there? Who's in charge?
There? What? Hello?
Hello? Who's in charge?
Well, who's in charge? Green Overseer Fang. Of course. What? I'm very busy, madam.
Madam? How dare you?
Oh,
Do you have any idea who I am?
no. Hence the madam.
I am Queen Katrine Magyeth from the forests of Camreth.
Queen
This is a royal
from
inspection.
a forest? Well, a queen would be from a forest. Friends with vegetables, are you? That sounds about right. Look, we're trying to do our work here, not be interfered with by just cabbages lording over us.
Do I look
We're
like
very,
cabbage
very-
to you?
We're very busy, Your Majesty.
Thank you.
How
Duly
can I
noted.
help you? I need to get back to my work.
I would like to speak to this overseer.
That's absolutely fine. Go on through the doors, then through the other doors. He'll be at the back. I'm sure he'll be able to help you. But as you can see, I'm busy. He rattles the chains holding him to the wall.
Well, that's all I wanted.
Well, then
Come
I'm
on.
glad to have helped you.
Head
You're
on through
very
the doors.
aggressively helpful.
Are we heading on through as a group?
Yes, I guess I'll ask. Duke de Corticus, this is within our group. Do Duke de Corticus doesn't mandate the workers to be chained up, does he? That's not his doing, is it?
I don't ask how nobles conduct their business.
You misunderstand, sir. These chains are strictly symbolic. The overseer is kind enough to allow us to return home at the end of each 15-hour shift.
They don't seem symbolic. They seem like
Of course
chains.
they are. At the end of each shift, they're unlocked. Strictly symbolic. It shows the leashing of ourselves to the work. Very important work. Very important work.
So
Can
what
you
is the
not-
work?
We're a mine, madam.
And you're producing this starloam, not pamphlets.
There are all the Overseer Feng does also produce the pamphlets, but that is a hobby more than work. One might say.
Gotcha.
Could you not just simply imagine the chain rather than having a physical chain if you want?
Overseer Feng says that imagination is a tool of the vegetative bourgeoisie.
I thought
Right.
you anti-monarchist lot were all about losing your chains or something, or owning your own chains.
But
I never really
This
understood.
isn't a real one. This is a symbol, plant lover. So
It's-
why don't you go conduct your business with Overseer Feng?
But it's clearly real.
Real things can be symbols too. You don't know.
No, he's got me there.
Hmm.
Not sure they
Let's-
understand the words that they're repeating from the overseer.
I do not understand many words. We leave.
The mysterious friend goes. "Hmm, hmm." Are we proceeding to the next chamber of the couple?
Yeah.
I
Yes,
guess
sure.
so.
So this one's quite empty. There are 2 stone braziers and 2 stained glass windows leading out that open to the dizzying drop down the wall. Like this cupola is off the kind of like outcrop platform, right? There's also a big, very big box of black metal slats suspended via chains from the 30-foot tall ceiling of the large round chamber. Subdued bestial groans are heard from within.
Don't stand directly underneath that. I just have a bad feeling about that.
And there are a set of doors at the end as well.
Can we tell what sort of creature is in this? Is like right.
No, it's big.
Okay. Yeah, let's just carry on.
I will stride across the room.
Okay. You emerge into a combination laboratory and private bordello. There's a splendor of cushions, computer consoles, alchemical equipment, hookers, harem workers of various genders wearing invisible garments spattered with brightly colored dabs of green and orange. There is a massive printing press that is rattling and shaking as it prints off many more pamphlets, and above it all, pressing buttons on a big dial of controller is the presumably green overseer Feng. He is wearing glittering green robes and heavy work goggles. His fingers are stained with green ink from his printing press, and his hair and mustaches are worn in long, distasteful barbels. He hasn't noticed you yet.
Look towards Queen for guidance.
Is there an obvious way, from looking at it, of stopping this printing press?
Yeah, it's probably just plugged into the wall. Like with a not just like with a little kettle, like it's got like, you know, the bit thick cable leading into the wall, but it looks like a thing that you could just heave and pull out.
I'm going to do that.
Okay. I think that's fine. I don't think you need to check for that. You pull that out, the whole thing shudders, grinds to a halt. And Overseer Feng kind of looks up at you with his goggles and kind of leaps to his feet and goes, "What are you doing?"
I'm ending your spreading of malicious lies about some sort of non-questioning of hierarchy. Frankly, I'm
Yeah!
stopping you from insulting a very good friend of mine.
It seems the Duke has found his mettle and his champions. Well, then I knew this day would come. To me, beast! He presses a button on his console, and there is like a snapping noise from the chamber behind you, and a very large thump as something horrific hits the ground and starts stumbling towards the chamber you're in. Go ahead and set up the combat, John, because Overseer Feng will not be parleyed with. He's come too far and is so close to his vague purpose, ? Let's have, please, Feng has an initiative of 2. So that will be 2 for him for the enemy. And also the lumbering creature behind you has an initiative of 4. So that's 6 for enemies, please.
Oh, no.
And obviously 2 for henchmen and 8 for our little group.
Okay.
Cool. I'm perfectly happy. Like, I think for the beast in the room, it's going to use its first turn to come in, right? So we won't describe it or talk about it yet.
It is
yeah.
me.
Okay, what are you going to do?
am
all the
going-
harem workers, by the way, are like wailing and like running around, diving under beneath cushions and like behind consoles to get out of the way.
I am going to draw my longsword and bring down the divine right of me on the overseer.
Sure. I think that's fine. But I would say this is a large chamber, so I think it will take you, like, I think the rules say that a little bit of movement is fine within an action, but if it feels like it's more than that, then the action is the movement, and I think that's this case. So you're basically going to take your turn to run towards this big raised console and up some steps, kind of kicking various, like, fancy, like, comfy things out of the way to try and get to the overseer. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Next turn is an enemy.
Okay, well then I am going to use this opportunity to bring in what he referred to as the beast, which the game refers to as the arm cluster mutant.
That doesn't sound great.
Here we go.
No, it's not great.
This is Feng and the arm cluster mutant.
Love the art.
No.
It's pretty big and weird, and it's basically going to stomp into the room. It's a pair of thick-set boot-wearing legs, topped by a mass of scarred and muscled limbs, like those of a professional wrestler or bodybuilder, each brandishing a whip, chain, or cutlass. From within this mass continually issues muffled groans and bovine bellows, though it has no head or facial features. And that stomps into the room. Let's have our next initiative, please.
Next up is the captain.
Oh, Lord,
Captain
here we go
Cacogen,
again.
what are we doing?
Right. Right. um, I think it might be time to crack out a spell, which might be interesting. Right, you can tell me, Matt, if I'm misusing this or you're not
Sure.
down with how I'm trying to use it.
No, good.
I'm going to try to use Helping Hand.
Mhm.
Animate hands spring forth from an inanimate surface and perform any task the wizard requires, but are limited to being rooted to the spot from which they sprang. They last until the wizard wills it or leaves the location. So I'm going to have a sort of gaggle of animated hands appear in the floor underneath the beast and try to grab it and root it in place to restrain it.
I'm going to say you can do that, but I will definitely roll on its turn to see if it can break free.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I need to roll to begin with, don't I? So
Mhm.
skill 4. Right. This might be okay. Just okay. 5. Needed 6 or under. So yeah, we could.
Okay, so spend the stamina, and a bunch of hands kind of burst out of the ground as if more hands were needed, and clutch at this thing, and it kind of like goes and
It seemed appropriate.
thrashes its legs a little bit, but it might, it well might break free. And I would also say if it rolls to break free, it's easily close enough to also attack that turn. That's all.
Right.
But until it does, okay, who's next?
Next is our mysterious friend.
Okay, the mysterious friend is going to charge at the arm mutant beast thing. I've also restored his stamina because I figured he'd munched something over the last week since things. So who wants to roll for the mysterious friend? And that'll just be a double 6 and add 9.
I'll go.
Okay.
7 + 9, 16.
Okay, that's a success. When you give me a damage roll against armor of 2, so knock the result down by 2.
I only rolled 2, which means it only goes down by 1, and I've lost which tab?
It's okay, I got it.
Spear
4
1
damage.
was 4.
That's fine. The mysterious friend dashes over to the arm cluster mutant and gives some healthy jabs into it with his lance, making kind of noises from under his big metal multicolored helmet. Next
is any enemy.
Okay, I'm going to go with Fang, who I think might cast something because he's got some spells. And when enemies cast things in Troika, they don't roll for them; they just do them.
If only we had some sort of anti-wizard member of our party.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of that going around, isn't there? Actually.
We didn't just go from like anti-wizard to a non-anti-wizard. We went from an anti-wizard to basically a wizard of something.
Yeah, a weird mutant wizard. Yeah.
Okay, let's go with what's his other spell? That. Yes. Let's go with that. He is going to clap his hands neatly and issue forth the light of 1,000 suns. Everyone needs to. Although actually, I'm just gonna double check how enemies use spells for 1 second. Enemy spells do not cost stamina.
Wow.
Okay, but he will presumably does have to roll, does he? I guess not. I know they didn't do one thing. Maybe he does have to. Sorry, folks. I just want to double check this. It doesn't say that they don't roll, so I think he rolls. He just doesn't spend the stamina.
Yeah, I'm looking at page 70. Enemy skill
Yeah, that's
covers
what I'm
everything they
looking at.
lack. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's fine. Okay, well, he might not pull this off. So I will roll for it. Let me just double check his skill. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Okay. He does pull it off. Okay.
Oh no.
So as I said, he claps his hands together, and there's the light of 1,000 suns. Everyone within 20 meters, that's all of you, test your luck.
This time I
Okay.
succeed. 4
Succeed.
to 10. But that
Okay.
will drop down again, won't it?
Yeah, all of you will lose a point of luck based off that. Captain Kakajan, unfortunately, based on Alex's despairing shake of his head, was looking directly at this when it happened.
Oh no.
Roll a d6.
That's a one Rooney.
Okay, that's pretty good. You are blinded for 1 minute. And what I'm going to interpret that as in terms of this is your next turn that you get, you're blinded. You can still act, but I will obviously introduce penalties on you depending on what you choose to do. Okay, that could have gone a lot worse, broadly. So next, please, John.
Next is any enemy again.
Okay, I'm going to go for the mutant. The mutant is first of all going to try and free itself. And it will do that. I'm going to roll for it to end this turn, see if that helps it. It does not help it, so instead I'm going to roll to see if it gets free. It does get free, and it's going to barrel forward past the mysterious friend. Let's see if we can kill 2 of Alex's characters in one game. No, it's Captain Kakajan. It takes personal offense. You used hands on it, and it's a hand creature. So it's going to take some personal offense at that.
Not going to go for the kindred spirit angle instead. No. Okay.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Cool. Why don't you roll whatever your fighting thing is, and I'm definitely going to give you a -2 penalty for being blind because that seems like it's probably pretty bad.
Well, I tell you right now, Matt, that's going to be shit. So I have 4 skill, and my fighting thing is I have 2 in fusil fighting, so that's 6. And then what you're saying -2.
But that's range though, isn't it?
Oh, is fusil a range thing? I don't know what a fusil is.
It's a
I thought it was
musket.
like
It's a musket.
Oh, I see. Right. Well, sword fighting then. So and it -2.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to get 3 or under.
No. It's not an under. You add it all together.
Oh, sorry.
So
Okay.
when you're fighting, you add your skill, your fighting skill, and your dice roll, and then -2 off the top.
I forgot how it works. So I've got a 7 plus 4 plus 1, so that's 12. But then -2. Is that correct? So 10.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, it does win. Have you got any armor?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Unless a Valere is an armor. I think it's a veil thing, isn't it? A Valere.
You feel it kind of slam into you. For any wrestling fans out there, it's basically just done a Thez press. And it basically slams into you and kind of has you in like a MMA mount position from which it's just like plonking you on the head with the pommel of one of those cutlasses. Only takes 2 stamina.
Okay.
But it is got you pinned to the ground now, so you're pinned and you're blind.
Cool.
With this thing like trying to bash you on the head.
I'm just amazed it
whatever matches
was able to find a head. Yeah, to be honest. Okay.
Yeah. It has a sense for these things. As you said, kindred spirits. What's next, John?
Now he plays that card.
Yeah, that's right.
Next is any enemy again.
Okay, Feng is going to Feng is actually going to. Would he not just cast another? I think he's just going to cast another spell. Let's see if he actually manages it first. He does not. Feng sort of curls his hands like he has in that picture, and like weird blue energies wrap around it, and then they kind of go. And he goes, "Curses!" He's quite intense. Next.
Next is Nalaim.
Elaine, what are we doing?
I think I still have my fusel because I was holding on to it when
Yeah.
we crashed.
You still
and
got the
so
monkey
on.
rifle.
So,
Yeah.
I might try firing at whoever is closest to me, the hand monster or
It's probably the hand
Fang.
monster. Probably the hand
Yeah,
monster.
bigger target. I'm not great with the
absolutely.
aims.
Absolutely.
Seems
Don't
sensible.
don't fumble and shoot me in the.
It's
my
open.
Yeah, just
It's open.
oof. Yeah, just roll.
So I rolled a 4, which is exactly my skill level. So that was extremely unlikely. But
Oh, hang
that was
on.
success.
You add though, right?
No, but remember it's combat, so you're rolling 2d6
damn
and
it.
adding that to your skill. It's still
Yeah,
not going to
okay,
be
so that's
what
a
it
4.
rolled, but
4 plus 4, then 8 total.
yeah, well, it rolled 17, so I think we're it's you're missing. Again, you find yourself
That's fair.
like you bash you like the first realization that the recoil on this thing is quite a lot is when you find yourself like tipping over the back of the printing press behind you, like you've got quite a bit of green ink on your ropes now.
Okay.
Next.
Next is me. And now I will approach and hit Fang with my sword.
And now end. Okay. Well, you diced a few owls the first time we played Troika, so let's see how you do against Overseer Feng. Yeah.
16.
He got 14, so you win. Yeah, he has an armor of 1, his glittering green robes, so bear that in
Okay.
mind.
I rolled a 4, which goes down to a 3, which is 8 damage.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah. He, as you kind of like run up the stairs towards him, he kind of wheels on you with that dagger he's got and kind of goes, and you put your sword through him. Which he goes, and kind of like pushes himself back off it, and he's still alive, but bleeding horribly and going with the knife. Yeah, you stabbed him, but good. He's still alive though. Next.
Damn, Queen's got game.
Mm.
As I stab him, I shout my war cry of curses! Because I shout
That's his.
the enemy's war cry.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
that's the thing I remember.
Yeah.
Which is why when you were fighting the owls, you were hooting.
I kept
Yeah.
hooting. It's Nalaim again.
Furious hooting.
So who's it? Oh, Nelaim.
This fusel is not doing me much good. I clearly, it was maybe not so wise to pick up a random gun that I've never fired before and keep trying to fire it. So I'm going to just chuck that. And I think head towards the Overseer as well. That's probably going to be like just a movement action, I guess, to try and like run up to head.
Yeah, it will be to get up near there. Yeah, you run around up and towards Fang successfully. Who we got next?
Next is Hedgeman, so our mysterious friend.
Mysterious Friend is going. Who wants to roll for Mysterious Friend? How about you, Alex, being as you're there as well? Yeah, he's attacking the arm cluster mutant. So give me
Great.
a 2d6 roll and add 9 to it.
You got it. That is a 5 plus 9, so that's 14.
Yes, that's better than the thing. Can you give me a damage roll? So a d6 roll, please.
Yep. That's a 3.
And the arm cluster mutant is beefy, which is an armor of 2. So did you say a 3?
Yeah, so down to 1.
It's down to 1, but that's still 4 damage on a spear.
Cool.
So again, he pokes the thing. Sort of. He seems fairly upset that the arm cluster mutant is sitting on top of you, and sort of is making kind of noises as he kind of jabs it and tries to get it to rear off you. But at the moment, it seems to be not that bothered, but there's definitely quite a bit of weird coloured blood splashing down on you. So he's definitely doing some damage. Who's next?
Next is any enemy.
Okay, I'm going to go with the mutant for this, who is going to probably, for the moment, continue trying to bash Captain Kakajan on the head. So you're still blinded and you're pinned. So why don't we call that a -4 to your roll?
Cool. I'll just put the dice away, shall I?
It can fumble.
It can fumble.
It doesn't fumble. It doesn't fumble.
No.
It rolls a 17.
Yeah, okay. I'm just not going to roll. that's literally impossible. I have 4.
Well, no, because you could
5.
fumble.
Oh, that's true.
You could get a double.
I could get a
surely
success crit thing.
double 6 would be.
Right. So that's 2 4s. Do I get anything from matching pairs?
Not in this game.
Unfortunately, no.
No. So that's 4, 4, and then 4, 12, and then it's like 13 -4.
You don't have any armor, do you?
Negative.
Okay. Well, this time, the arm cluster mutant seems to be made real mad by what the mysterious friend is doing behind him. And he just basically, sort of rolls his body to try and get the mysterious friend away from him. And as he does so, almost absent-mindedly, one of those big hooks just, flashes around and just goes through the side of kind of your neck, but you don't really have human physiology, so it's more real painful than anything else, and that's 5 toughness.
Ooh. Wait, so does that go off my stamina?
Stamina, sorry.
Yeah.
Toughness. I'm Simbarooming. It's fine.
It's fine. Cool. Yeah. Okay.
It's related to gold blooming. But...
I'm okay for now. I'm okay.
You're okay. You're all right.
It's fine. Yeah, it's good.
It's fine. You're tanking. This is tanking.
I'm tanking. Yes.
Yeah. Who's next, John?
Next is the end of the round.
Yeah, it was going to come sooner or later.
I love how I've not had a single.
I was going to say,
single
have you done anything in combat at all?
No,
Tarek
not a
is
sausage.
too sad about Clyde.
Yeah.
Oh.
So nothing has changed. Start again. Any enemy.
Okay, we'll go with Feng, who's desperately going to try and leap on the queen and insta-kill her with his very small dagger. So, we both roll. He has 14.
I have 19.
Roll damage. Roll damage, and he's got armor of 1.
Wow.
That's
Katrina's
5,
beast.
which goes down to 4, which is 8 damage again.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, he's so dead.
He leaps on you kind of with the dagger overhand and goes crashes over the console, dead, completely done. The arm cluster mutant that's kind of bashing the head of Captain Kakajan repeatedly into the ground goes and stands up and basically runs out of the side of the cupola, leaving a large arm cluster mutant shaped hole with a resounding crash, and you hear it bellowing bovinely and sadly.
That wasn't the Doppler effect of it falling off the wall by any chance, was it? Or was it just going into...
It was indeed.
Okay,
it was indeed.
good.
I'm exercising all my vocal
Okay,
things
cool. I just wanted to make
today,
sure that I'd understood what the hell just happened.
Absolutely. You have dispensed with Green Overseer Feng and his arm cluster mutant, and we are obviously approaching the end now. So let's move things forward a bit. The devastated assistants, having no other option, there's no promotion system here, will with sadness in their hearts at the victory of the vegetative duke, show you a ready supply of star loam and rare earths to ensure you go back with you. And even more than that, it's only a day's travel to I think it's a day's travel. Let me just double check. From where you are at the wall, it's only a day's travel back to the launching station Indomitable. And you can find a schedule by just traveling towards there that shows you there is another golden barge due to take off from there. So you can maybe get yourself back to the duchy in like a D3 plus 1 day's travel with, at least some of this star loam. Do you want to do that, or do you risk staying longer to try and actually set up the distribution stuff again, which you could maybe do with the help of the assistants?
I mean, it makes sense, surely, for perhaps one of us stay behind. Like, if we get some Starling back.
We're not splitting. We're not doing any splitting the pie shit. No. We're making meaningful choices.
Okay.
Well, in which case, surely we need to get back quickly. And
yeah, I think there's no point
Just
setting up the
stay
supply
there.
if his Duke's
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
Fill up a big fucking sack. Just head back, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Could someone give me a D3 roll for how long the Golden Barge trip takes back, please?
who's doing this one?
Go for Alex.
Oh boy. Okay, that's a 5. So that's 3 then.
3.
Like,
3. Okay. So on the day of your return to the duchy, 16 days have passed since you left. You make your way through the city as speedily as you can from the Golden Barge through the Plandra metropolis. You find your way to the palace. As soon as you go in, Prolocutor Jeremy is standing there waiting for you, saying, "Oh, thank God you're here. We've been waiting. The Duke took himself to his chambers. He said he could enter some kind of low energy state through which he could preserve himself as much as possible. He assured me this would take him a mere number of... It could extend his life by a significant degree. He took himself to his chambers 4 days ago, and now you are here. Come with me, as fast as we can." And he starts kind of lurching his way through the corridors, those deeply plushed corridors towards the chamber. Who's carrying this unwieldy sack of star loam?
Probably Carrick. Carrick seems. I don't. Queen Katrine's not going to be doing it. Let's be.
I imagine you carrying it, and the 2 monkeys are unhelpfully perched on top of the sack as you run through. I hope you did not have too much trouble. One of you looked quite different before.
Yes, the barge crashed. We were stranded in the Badlands, but the captain of the barge was helpful enough to join our party, and here we are.
Captain is brand new.
Oh, I am glad to hear that. At first, I thought it was one of those terrifying Kakajan, but they inevitably slaughter and eat everyone around them eventually. So I'm sure you're. I'm just very glad it's the captain instead. Prolocutor Jeremy kind of makes his way through to the final chambers of the Duke and says, "He said that he could maintain himself in this hibernation state for many, many days potentially. So, given that only 4 have passed, I'm just..." Oh. Has anyone got a good way of leaving the city? The next few weeks become a string of chaotic happenings. The pirate princelings that dwell around the duchy take thorough advantage of the Duke's death, and essentially raid it, pillage it, committing grave acts of murder and atrocity for days and weeks. The only golden barge to eventually be pieced together from an old duchy junkyard is packed with many sort of refugees and other people fleeing the duchy. You manage to find yourself aboard it, and eventually it launches and catapults itself off into the space between the spheres. But there's no navigation equipment. There's nothing in this, and you drift for weeks under the cold, glittering stars, sustaining yourself only on the rather aging rations that people stuffed onto it, having found them in a kind of old military depot, until eventually salvation resolves itself ahead of you, floating through the stars. In the distance at first, a tiny twinkling, and then a larger, oddly shaped globe resolves itself, a sphere hovering towards you at a slow speed. In the days that it takes to approach it, you sense that the kind of people, the exographers and explorers who have some knowledge of the spheres in this particular area of the humpback sky, seem to grow somewhat reticent, almost fearful and afraid as you drift closer. But you don't see what there is to worry about. How dangerous could what appears to be an incredibly large sphere composed entirely of pillows, cushions, curtains, duvets, blankets, and other soft furnishings be? As the barge slowly approaches, an odd protuberance on the side of it, a sort of soft furnished airlock, you find yourself just thankful that you've come to a place where you can get some rest. There we go. Fronds of Benevolence.
I have one question.
Go for it.
I am assuming through the last leg of this journey that the pillow is tugging firmly and directly.
It is tugging very firmly in the direction of this, and that can only be a good sign, right?
Yep.
It wants to find Nostrificans, and maybe it also wants to go home.
Is it possible, in some cosmic way, that the homing properties of the pillow are what brought us here?
Who can say? I'm sure Inga
gentle tugs
would definitely know more about the nature of fate. Yeah, maybe it slowly drifted you towards what? Towards the soft. Our new Kickstarter. If you haven't heard already in this one shot, as I'm sure you have, please do check it out. It'll be live on February the 1st. In March, which will be partway through the campaign of this, we will run a one-shot sequel to this set on the soft, so you can see the setting in all its horrible glory. Thank you very much for playing. Thank you very much for watching. As always, bear with us through our mindless shilling of our new creative product, but we're quite excited about it. We hope you are as well. If you do have a Kickstarter account and feel like it, you can navigate via the link in the chat, or the link that you'll find down below if you're watching on YouTube. And yeah, give us a click on the notify button for it. It all helps bump us up the rankings. There we go. Lovely stuff. Let me get the promo out of the way, because this is the longest one shot we've run in a while. So thank you to my players for bearing with us. Down below, you'll find a bunch of links to YouTube and Twitch. You can follow us on both of those and check out our content. You can also find links to social media, Discord, Patreon, and our merch store down below. If those interest you, please have a look at them. We run 3 weekly shows at the moment. Mondays is Warhammer, Wednesdays is Simbarum, Thursdays alternates between Wicked Ones and the Big Wet. We also run monthly one-shots. Hey! This was one of those. Like I say, we don't have many plans for the rest of the year for these. I'm sure there'll be one in February. There'll be another TROIKA one in March, and then other to happen after that. So join us for those. Comments and questions in chat. I suspect John has already started marking those. Bring them on up. Don't kick food. Ooh, that's different. Is the yellow marker there different? Sorry, random question.
Yeah,
They're not
it
usually
is.
their Twitch names aren't usually yellow. Is that like a color coding based on subscriber or something like that? Do you think StreamYard?
I mean, it's the
added
color
something
of
like
it's the color of the tags that we've been using. Perhaps that's kind of
Yeah.
leaked through, and
Oh, maybe that makes
Maybe
sense.
they've updated that.
Anyway,
Hmm.
they used to have the. Oh no, never mind. I wish we had the option to fight a void beast whenever it was public speaking day in school. Yeah, for me, it would be cross country day. That would be the real.
Oh, God, yeah.
appreciate that.
Genuinely felt the like mild panic when you said that, Matt. That I was like, oh
the
shit.
cross country day.
What would what would Nellheim's speech
Inga,
be about? Oh my god,
Inga,
are we actually going to have
Inga.
to do these?
Inga, you never have to do that again. Ever.
Cross country day isn't real and it can't hurt you.
I thought you were going to make me do a speech as part of this bloody one shot.
I did. I was quite terrified of that.
Immediate, oh
My-
god, panic. Think of a topic. What would Nellheim talk about? Oh my god.
My psychologist. Cross country day can't hurt you. Cross country day.
I was. Go on.
I decided my topic was going to be permissive parenting of monkeys.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So,
Very domain
I did
specific.
think of a topic, which was going to be about the inevitable, like how to treat the inevitable indigestion that everybody was going to have after a 17-course meal. Having foreseen this as one of the visions that there was going to be a lot of toilet activity later on,
Sure.
was what I
Yeah.
was thinking.
Like, I know
Apparently
you're
the toilet
enjoying your
activity
food
was
now.
around shitting their pants with the void beast.
Seems fair. Like, I know you're enjoying your food now, but have you thought about the inevitable consequences? That's
Certainly.
my life.
This only ends one way.
John, were you going to say something there?
No.
John, don't worry, everything's bad. Nellheim's business card. Nice.
Yeah. That tracks.
Did anything in this one shot prove that wrong?
No, not even slightly.
I mean, we haven't observably seen anything significant happen to you yet.
I think we can all agree that my Matt Berry impression was not bad.
That's
It was
true.
very good.
It was on point. Yeah.
Good. Good. Don't kick food. What is an air but a hard light scaffold on which one can project one of those ideas? Yeah, sure. So that's poor parenting, but also pretty common. Inga, are they mongering the monkeys, or are the monkey monkeying the mongers? Who mungs the monkeys?
well, there's a t-shirt
The
slogan.
The eternal question.
Who mongers the mongers? Yes.
Who
Who mongers the mungman?
I think
Let's-
this
let's
was
think-
like
have
there was some, I can't remember which moment it was. There was some moment where you were trying to do something to vaguely, or were you exchanging the maps or something, and you were in the fight, and then the
Yeah.
monkeys were the ones actually
Yes.
doing the business, and you're talking about like a mongering the monkeys, and I was, but I was like, it really sounds like it's the other way around.
I want to introduce a new Troika background of monkey monger.
Oh, meta mongering.
Nice,
Mm.
nice.
He who mongers the monkey mongers.
I am the
Let's move on.
meta-monger.
42. Nellheim hasn't come up with the I'm a terrible psychic, so I'll do the opposite of my intuition plan.
Mm.
This is Greek. This is like ancient Greek oracle.
This is Greek
stuff,
tragedy.
Right? Like,
yeah.
like you try and avoid it, it happens anyway. Like there's just you can't game the system. Fate will track you down and beat you over the head with inevitable consequence. Yeah. Can't be
Sounds
helped.
about right to me. What will we go next? Don't kick food. Greatly amused by the idea of someone who can see the future using that to deny all responsibility for any consequences of their actions because it was going to happen anyway. Yeah, like it.
Philosophically, what else can you do?
I was honestly and I should never have doubted Inga at the beginning of this. I was like, oh, I'm a little worried about Inga. Inga seems a little subdued and down compared to it. And then I realized she was role playing.
Yeah, it doesn't happen
It
very
took me a
often on this
while to
channel,
grok
so.
the character. So yeah, and at first I was just like, oh, I hope Inga's enjoying it. Yeah,
No, just a
I
miserable
did.
psychic.
I did enjoy it, Matt. Don't worry.
yeah, good. Next. Night Bites. All through this, my brain has been playing me on repeat the Robin Williams song "Me and My Monkey." I'm gloriously happy to say I don't know that song.
I also, that is not conjuring a melody, and I feel like that might be a mercy. I don't know.
Sure. I am familiar with the Marilyn Manson song "My Monkey," but
For
not
better
this.
or
And
worse.
I doubt they're related. So
Name a more iconic duo.
Robbie Williams and Marilyn Manson
Yeah,
and a monkey
together at last.
Next, Steve, we need to summon the appropriate number of anti-hands.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which is kind of what the captain tried to do.
I did try to do that. Yeah, I think that was
Anti-hands
related.
is my new TROIKA NPC. Anti-hands and uncle feet. These hands got hands.
Yeah,
It's
I feel
true.
like I missed
They
a
did.
throwing hands joke at some point during
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was kind of in.
To be fair, you were
rapid.
being slowly beaten to death.
Yeah,
by
I
a
wasn't
giant
really.
hand monster.
I had a lot on my plate.
Yeah. Like I say, you weren't being beaten up. You were tanking.
I was tanking with my
Important,
no armor
yeah.
and arguably worse stats than the one
You're
who
an-
got
you're an-
one shot
You're an off tank. It's
off
fine.
tank. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the last thing they'd expect.
Next, 42. Will the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man show up in soft? John, do you want to bring up the art?
Let me find it.
Let's end this. We can talk about it afterwards if people want. I actually kind of want to talk about Fronds of Benevolence and how I actually really rate this and how little of it we even did.
Oh, God.
But also we do have more art for the soft, which idiotically I thought, people will be able to I didn't realize that the pre-launch pages on Kickstarter took off all the story stuff. So there's actually a load more that we've got on there. But if John can share some of the art that he's already done for it, that's really cool. Because if anyone was in any doubt, by the way, all the arts that we're going to do for it is by John. But yeah, so this is an individual. Sorry, I'll just get to our development Trello.
Oh my God.
Because I can't remember the name of this thing. So we've called this the Pillow Man or the Knight of the Golden Down. But it's based on, as I've said before, this is inspired by a couple of episodes of Community. And anyone who's watched those episodes will know that one of the characters dresses up like this as part of a big pillow fight scenario. And yeah, this is going to be one of the backgrounds that you can pick. And it also, as pointed out by me on our private Discord, looks not unlike the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Although,
So,
for legal
spot on.
reasons, we need to say it is inspired by
but
the
not
Pillow Man
but
from,
not licensed from Community.
but
yeah,
legally distinct from
yeah, definitely.
anything that Pierce
Um,
Hawthorne may have created.
Yes.
It's yes.
Stay
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man
yeah.
adjacent.
Yes.
Yeah, but this is John's draft of our Pillow Man background. Do you want to pop up the just the pile of pillows one, John, because I love it so much.
Yeah, I
so
need
that's
to
a
take
really
it down and then
like,
refind it.
sketch. Yeah, no problem. Well, while you're doing that, did we have any other comments to go through, John?
No, I think that was everything.
No, we didn't. Okay, so I can talk about Fronds of Benevolence. This is a really, really good little purchase, I think, and I'm not sponsored by Milsonian Arts Council. I don't think anyone ever has been. But it's really nice. It's probably fairly cheap. The art is really cool. It's point crawl, and I don't know if people are familiar with that, but it's this is the map of the story, basically. So you start in the duchy, and then you took the Golden Barge. I'm going to get so confused with the direction. The Golden Barge, and then you landed on the asteroid, and then you landed in the Rainbow Badlands, and then you went to the city. And then I decided you could because it was still linked to the Badlands, you could walk back to the Badlands and walk to the wall. There you go. But as you can see, there's a whole fucking half of this that you didn't even touch, right? You could have taken the stilt loper, and then you could have gone. There's a different ending, the Blue Oak, right? And there's all these other places you could have gone. And it links between them and shows the time and stuff like that. It's quite fucking challenging to save the Duke. So don't feel bad that you didn't. He died. I rolled 12, by the way, so you had 12 days to do it. But a whole bunch of stuff in it is really random as well. It's obviously, when I asked you to roll dice about the encounters, the Void Beast was a 1 to 2 on a d6, so you rolled 2. So you hit the void. You literally wouldn't have hit the void beast. Although they were Feng's agents, by the way. You probably picked up on that. The Auric liquidators. They would have set the bombs though. So, but you might have stopped them before they blew up the barge. But yeah, loads of random stuff, loads of cool, weird things. I'm quite glad we didn't have the Babya Yaga Gaks or whatever they're called, because the images of them are like they're like naked old women, and I was mildly worried about.
Yeah, we might not get that on YouTube.
Yeah, we might not want to put that on YouTube. But no, there's loads of cool stuff in this. Obviously, there's the wine-colored raiders and the art. Yeah, there's loads of cool stuff in this. So if you're after like a relatively short, it's no, go for it.
With those like Babya Igagak things.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, like, if you drag one from a hut, she'll die. Does that kind of imply you're like encountering them by like going into their huts?
No. They're like Baba Yagas. They're like Baba
Yeah.
Yaga things where they're like huts on these long legs, and they have this upper body of like a naked old woman hanging out of them, and you have to like if you drag them out of the hut, they die. Is the idea?
Gotcha.
But like when you're on the stilt loper, they like chase after you and try and attack the stilt loper. If you roll a certain amount on a die,
Yeah,
like so much of it is random. But
the void beast suddenly sounds much nicer as an option.
yeah. But we had there was loads of stuff. There was like some encounters you just didn't roll as well. That you could have met various weirdos and creatures and stuff. So yeah, it's the thing is it's really good, but it's also really replayable. Like you could replay this with different groups and do completely different things. So if that's the kind of thing you do, you know what I actually rate this really highly as something you do at like a con, and like you could run it for different groups lots of different times. It's recommended as 1 to 2 sessions, but what did we take? We took like 5.5 hours or thereabouts to run through it. So yeah, I think it's pretty decent, and it's very Troika, as you'd expect. I think Andrew Walter is their like art director, so of Milsonian. So yeah, anyway, Fronds is good. John, love this. Give it a moment if you haven't seen it yet. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's really good, kind of like soft vibes. That's the kind of the thing we're going for.
Looks like
there will be
SCP of some kind.
Yeah. That has come up in our like creative discussions of like the feel we want to have and stuff. So yeah, there'll be loads more on the channel, on our Discord, on our Patreon, and various things about like the Kickstarter as we go through it. It's running for it's launching on February the 1st, and it's running for 60 days. So the maximum Kickstarter allows. So like you've got plenty of time to decide if you want to jump on board or whatever. But yeah, we were pretty excited about it. So we thought we'd announce it via a one shot like this. So hopefully you are excited too. Or not, but you enjoyed the one shot anyway. That's also good. Cool. Okay. Thanks so much for this, folks. Thanks to my lovely players who went through quite a long one shot, but hopefully enjoyed it. Special thanks to Alex for literally hopping on at the last minute. Just going, yeah, fuck it, I'll do a one shot today.
I don't know anything about this thing. Just be fine.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it.
Fuck it. Yeah. I just have amnesia. It's fine. Oh, I'm dead. It's okay.
Anyway, that's fine.
Oh, I was just born, so I can still be totally ignorant. It's fine.
So yeah, it's good. So there we go. Thank you so much, folks. We'll see you on the weekly shows and on a one shot next month. Take care. Stay safe. Goodbye.